Hari Rai, so Hari Rai. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. देखो सुनो मत बोलो. Wherever, whenever, whatever you are, be 100% कर्नाटक. किसी को आओ मत कहो, किसी को जाओ मत कहो. ना कुछ पाना ना कुछ खोना. Who asked you live at zero, complete level? मौज में रहो, be happy.
Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. There are two approaches which are told in our scriptures, what we call as spiritual life. One approach is wherein we give importance to the relative existence. Relative existence means where the experiencer and the experienced, these two factors are important and the world is given more importance. So, the life is only try to fulfill one's desires and continue in that cycle of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. This is one part of the topic in our scriptures. The second part is as to who is going through good and bad experiences. Is it the camera looking at me? See? Or I am looking at it? So when my attention is in the objective world, my approach will be different. But when my attention is on me, who is this who is going through experiences? This is the second part. So in the 6 questions of this Prashnopanishad, first 3 questions are pertaining to the relative world. And we are in the third question which is asked, wherein the student asks the question that prana, the jiva, the soul, how does he enter this body? That means he has taken this world as real, and from somewhere the God comes or the jiva comes and enters the body, and thereafter, Maharaji, Viraji, and thereafter he enters and then the life begins. So, what are those factors? Kindly tell. Yesterday we have seen this thing. Then the teacher says, yes, now you are a seeker of truth. Normally, what are the questions that we come across? Swamiji, I am not getting a job, please help me. See? You will see maximum crowds you find where desires are fulfilled. Desire fulfillment is the only understanding of spirituality by majority of us. So here is the student. He is not asking about this thing. That my wife doesn't listen to me, my children are like that, I am not getting a job. Enough of it, enough. See, I remember there used to be initial stages when I was a newly born Babaji. Now I am gone case. So we were waiting for somebody and tried to say, Pancha Mahabhutas, Pancha Jnanendriya, wow. And then go to the various places wherein your desires are fulfilled. Get Ashirvad. Guru Maharaj ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. See? So when you go through all these things, I came to this conclusion. The wisdom is never discuss, give advice, talk to anybody on any topic. It's useless. This I learned from you. You are all my gurus. I told you 100 times. One lady asked me in Vrindavan this some question. Swamiji, what is this? I said, Amma, how many Mahatmas you have asked this question? How do you know? I said, forget about it. No, every Mahatma I asked this question. That day I realized they are taking us for a ride. Therefore, I invoke my Guru. And Guru Maharaj gave me this Maha Mantra. I don't know. You may ask, it is not obligation that I have to answer your question. I don't know, that's it. And here is the student who is not talking about the world. Then he says, how this jiva, the prana, how he is born, where from he comes. See? Now, before we go, I'll give one example, and then it will become easier. Where from the light in the bulb comes. See? Second example. Where from the horsepower in the car comes. See? There is neither the horse nor the power. But the vehicle is moved not by petrol, not by the engine. But when the unholy wedding between the petrol and the engine happens, then something is born that is called as horsepower. Try to see the horsepower, where it is, how it is. Exactly the same way. Paramatma, petrol. Our body, engine. Expression, donkey power. अब कहाँ से आया? And when you switch on horsepower, H1, switch off. Again switch on, again horsepower, H2. You do it n number of times. Now the question is, H1 is equal to H2 is equal to H3 is equal to what? See, friends, this is simplest. And therefore, when a bulb becomes fused, what will happen to the light? Bichara mar gaya. What will happen to the light? Oh, you don't know. That light will go from here and enter another bulb. When the body, the bulb becomes fused, then the jiva, the soul, with a soul curry in his hand, he will go in another body and enter. Limit to blubs. See, friends, whole life is lived only with this. Papoham, papa karmaham. See? Therefore, here the student asks, where from the jiva we talk about, where from he comes. So in reply to this, now the teacher says, Atmanaha esha pranaha jayate. The electricity is expressing as light. Where? Only in bulb. But if the electricity can give light in the bulb, if I put that electricity in my head, there will be lightning. You require a particular instrument, not everywhere. Exactly the same way, Paramatma expressing through certain equipments expresses only as existence, where life is not manifested. So because of this, that there are two expressions. One expressions are the insentient, inert expressions, Jada Jagat. And second is the sentient, the Chetan Jagat. And the substratum of this Jada Chetana is one reality, which is beyond Jada and beyond Chetana. See? Sunlight, daylight, lot of difference. What we see is not the sunlight, it's a daylight. Sunlight is dark. When we see in the sky up there, where is the light? We don't see. What we see is only the reflected light. Therefore, if we have to define what is sunlight, sunlight is a dark light. Because in that sunlight, there is neither light nor darkness. But when we take the reflected light, when we take the reflected consciousness, then Jada Chetan. And therefore, the sunlight is beyond darkness and light in the same manner. Paramatma is beyond Jada Chetana. See, my friends, but we get lost in all the non-essentials in life. Therefore, now the teacher continues the story. Atmanaha esha pranaha jayate. This prana, jiva, is born out of the Atma, the self. Yatha esha purushe chaya etasmin etan atatam manokrutena ayati asmin sharire. See? Like our shadow. Like, you can see our shadow falling somewhere. Now, where from the shadow has come? The shadow is not in the light. The shadow is in me. So out of me only the shadow has come out. See how simple it is to understand properly. Therefore, yatha purushe chaya etasmin atatam is all pervading. Meaning what? This is the potentiality. Yesterday I gave you an example, experiment. Take a matchstick, and if you are burning, you will not get the shadow of the flame, which has already a light, but no shadow of the light. And if you take the stick, it is dark, but it has got a shadow. How funny it is. Therefore, this Paramatma expressing through the body becomes manifested as Chetana. So Chetana is not Paramatma. Chetana is the expression of Paramatma or the Brahman or Bhagavan. Vedanta calls it as Brahman, Yoga calls it as Paramatma, and Bhakti calls it as Bhagavan. Word and the same thing. Don't get into Jagda. See? So, when the Chetana is expressed, no, Chetana further starts manifesting. Ramification. So, the first expression of Chetana is Paravani. I am telling from human mind point of view. Paravani, then Pashyanti, then Madhyama, and then Vaikhari. Vaikhari Vani, Parashruti Gochara. Others can hear. I am talking to you by Vaikhari Vani. When we talk to ourselves, Madhyama Vani. That experience where object and the name of the object are separate from each other is the Vaikhari Vani, where both the object and the name of the object are only thoughts. That is Madhyama Vani. Khayali Pulav. And Pashyanti Vani, where the object and the thought of the object, they are not yet differentiated, yet it is ready to differentiate. And Paravani is Chetana, where the expression of mind as a speech is ready, but not yet begun. Therefore, in Japa Sadhana, this is the technique told. Start from your Vaikhari Vani, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. When our Vaikhari Vani becomes pavitra, purified and mature, that japa enters the Madhyama Vani. When that is mature and purified, the japa enters the Pashyanti Vani. Up to here is our efforts. Beyond that, Kanaiyalal takes place. It's not our field. See, friends. So, the Chetana expresses as mind, Then mind expresses as the five jnanendriyas, five karmendriyas, and the five jnanendriyas express as five objects. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. This is how the mano krutena ayati asmin sharire. And after that is done, then what this Chetana does, yatha samrat eva adhikrutan viniyunkte etan gramam adhitishtasva etam eva esha pranaha itran pranam prutak prutak evam sannidhatte. Then, like a samrat, a king, appoints the people to look after the various departments in the same manner. All the various departments are classified and given by the jiva, and he is the mukhya prana. Now, what is that division? Now, here are the pancha pranas are explained very beautifully. Payu, Pasthe, Apanam, you all know the prana, vyana, apana, udana, samana. Five of them. So, where is our different pranas in our life, in our body? Payu, Upasthe, Panam, Apanam. So, Payu, Upasthe, in our lower openings is the Apana Vayu. And then Chakshu Shrotre Mukhanasikaabhyam Pranaha Swayam Pradishtate. And then in our eyes means all our sense organs, etc. It is the prana himself is living. Madhye tu samanaha. And in the center is the samana vayu, samana prana. Esha etat hutam annam samam nayati tasmad eta saptatisho bhavati. When the food is taken away, then the food is digested by this samana digestion power, and then all our faculties become enlivened. This is how these three pranas are told. Thereafter, Rudi Esha Atma Atra Ekashatam Nadi Nam Tasam Shatam Sataikam Ekasyam Dvasaptatir Dvasaptatihi Pratishakha Nadi Sahasrani Bhavantyashu Vyana Charati. Then there are 72,000 nadis. Now here we have to be very clear. Nadi many a times is explained as the capillaries, the blood vessels. No. Nadis are not structural entities. Like, mind is not structural. See, our eyes have got two aspects, structural eye and functional eye. In the same manner, Antakaran Chatushtay is not structural, only functional. See, when the thoughts are in a state of confusion and chaos, that state of thought is called as mind. When the state of the thought is conviction and decision, right or wrong is not a criteria. The decisive state of the thoughts is called as intellect. And when the state of the thought is in the form of memory, it is called as chitta. And when the state of thought is ownership of the earlier three, it is called as ahankar. So Vedanta, they talk about antakaran chatushtay, but actually it should be antakaran panchakam. Where are the thoughts? You know, I had told you, I wash my clothes and do the ironing. That is my meditation. In that cloth, when the wrinkles are spread everywhere, the beauty of the cloth is hidden. So, you take the iron and move. All wrinkles gone. The beauty of the cloth surfaces. Now the question is, those wrinkles which were covering the beauty of the cloth, where they have gone? Can the wrinkles be there without the cloth? In the same manner, can the thoughts be there? Therefore, antakaran is like the cloth, and on that cloth antakaran, there are 4 types of thoughts. Therefore, like Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Prana, exactly the same way, it is Antakaran Panchakam. देखो महाराज, Otherwise, we'll be only struggling. My thoughts are, who cares? Let there be thoughts or no thoughts. Nothing happens to the cloth when there are wrinkles or no wrinkles. Because we have given importance to the wrinkles, we get disturbed. Exactly the same way. Don't give importance to any thought. Good thoughts, never mind. Bad will come, don't worry. Bad thoughts, never mind. Good will come, don't worry. Is it not Bhagavad Gita, second chapter? Bhagavan says, Matra sparashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayina anityan tantiti kshasva bharata. Meaning what? Let the joy or sorrows come. Don't worry, they are temporary. For temporary things, why have to become permanently miserable? How wonderful it is. But we are told in yoga chittavritti nirodha. It has never happened to anybody. And why we should be afraid of that? Let there be thoughts, who cares? See, like the speaker speaks, who cares? Same way, as we listen to Vedanta, listen to the world. You have learned Vedanta. What is our listening to Vedanta? So many Mahatmas have come and gone. Challenge, try. See, friends. Therefore, here, these atra ekashatam nadinam tasam hesha atma, and then what happens in the heart? These 72,000 nadis. So they are not structural, they are functional. Now be attentive. Which are those functional? There are three of them. See, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Jnana Shakti. See, when there is Ichha Shakti, so kamayata bahusyam praja yeyeti. See, kamasya vashe idam sarvam. Everything is under control of this Ichha Shakti. But we are the victims of our desires. Paramatma is free from that. So these three potentialities, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Now these two, the Jnana and Kriya Shakti, they are called as Ida Pingala. Be very attentive. I am not telling you from the book. When knowledge and action, they do not support each other in our life. Knowledge is early to bed and early to rise. Action is late to bed and late to rise. Result is no self-confidence. I don't think I can get up early morning here. And what is there? Is it that Bhagwan is available only in the morning? Afternoon is on leave or what? Again we go to sleep. And then we get up late. Today also I could not get up. I don't think I can do anything. I'm good for nothing. Why? Because knowledge is not respected in our own life. See, friends, it's so important. Shakhayor dvai shakti mulaka. These are the two shakhas. Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. And Shakti Mulaka, there is only one potentiality. So, when from one point you draw two lines, they cannot be parallel. They will have an angle. And as you go away from the source of that line, the distance between these two lines will start increasing, widening. And slowly, right from childhood, we have never taken care of this thing. How many times we have heard this thing? Dekho suno mat bolo. But no end to that. We just can't keep quiet. Knowledge is there to tell others. See. And as a result, slowly, this gap becomes extremely wide. No self-confidence. Friends, Atma Vishwas is Paramatma Krupa. See, Atma and Paramatma is one. When we bless us, then only the divine will bless us. See, that is Sadguru. External Guru and Sadguru. Sadguru is only one, and that is our ability to learn. If we don't learn, nobody can teach us. So, these two Shaktis, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, when they are thus properly taken care of, slowly, knowledge and action, they are not contrary to each other. Knowledge is represented in action, and actions are the representation of the knowledge. The net result is the gap between the two starts narrowing, and ultimately knowledge and action merge in a homogeneous being. That is called as the Kundalini Shakti ultimate Sushumna Nadi. Sushumna Nadi is not a structural one. Mind is not a structure. See, friends, how simple it is, but we get lost in all kind of things. So, Sahasrani Bhavandi Tasu Vyana Charati, and in this the Vyana Vayu functions. Atha Ekayo Urdo Udana Punyena Punyam Lokam Nayati, Papena Papam Ubhabhyam Manushya Lokam. And then this Udana Vayu, by these channels, the Ida, Pingala, etc., it takes the Jiva to the higher world or lower world, depending upon what type of life we have led. Therefore, Udanaha Punyena Punyam Lokam Nayati. If you do good work, you go to the heaven, and bad work, you go to the hell. And if you are having a balance, you come to the human being. After this is over, then Aditya Havai Bhaya Prana, up to here, it was all pertaining to our individual. So Pancha Pranas, how they keep the life going in the body. Now outside also, the same Pancha Pranas. See how deep the thought is. See, Adityo Havai Bhaya Prana, Udayeti Esha Hena Chakshusham Pranam Anugrinnana. So, like inside the prana is in the eyes and ears, etc., in the same manner. External prana is the Lord Sun, Aditya Havai Prana, and Udayati Esha. And when the sunrise happens, then only eyes are able to see. Be attentive. Therefore, if you remember yesterday, I told you, every mantra has got its three aspects. The sun hanging in the sky as a ball is Adi Bhautik Sun. That because of which Kunti Mata was blessed with Karna is the Adi Daivik Sun. And that because of which we have our functional vision is Adhyatmic Sun. Therefore, external and internal, they are not separate. They are one and the same. External air, internal air. See? If you can imagine. Like if you take, suppose this is a magnet. And this magnet will have a magnetic field up to particular length, depending upon the strength of the magnet. And then that field will be all around the magnet. So any steel part or a nail, when it will come within the area of this magnetic field, it will be pulled. If this is clear, in the same manner, be very attentive. When consciousness is expressing through the body as Chetana, and that Chetana is now like creating a magnetic field around the body. Be very attentive. So there is a contour line, if you can imagine, all around the body. And air, when it is within the contour line of our body and it enters through the nose in our body, the same air is now converted into Panchapranas. See, therefore, external prana and internal prana, they exist together. Therefore, the body is in the prana. Prana is not in the body. See, external object included in the mind. Where the knowledge happens? Inside. So the mind is the same. Therefore, the body and the prana, they are in the mind. Your expansion will have no limit. And then we come to discover that nothing has happened, nothing is going to happen. Like nothing happens to the space. Everything happens in the space, but nothing happens to the space. Every color and form is seen by the vision, but vision has no color, no form. Every thought, good and bad, comes in the mind, but nothing happens to the mind. Mind is neither good and bad. Every experience, waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi, comes and goes in this chidakash, the conscious space. Nothing happens to that. To bring to our cognition this experience, this Upanishad is telling that don't separate external, internal. External, internal we give importance because we are too much preoccupied with our body. And when we drop this body business, as in deep sleep, three factors disappear: time, space, and object. Where are we? When are we? What are we? When these three factors disappear, you are one with the divine. Here it will come in the fourth question. Who goes to sleep? Waker cannot go, dreamer cannot go. Deep sleeper also cannot go to sleep. Otherwise, how he will know it is a sleep? Then who goes to sleep? Now go and sleep and find out who goes to sleep. महाराज वेदांत रस युक्त है. It is not ना सुखा करता हूं ना गिल्ला करता हूं. Vedanta is rasapurna. See? Adityo havai pranaha esha udayati hena chakshusham pranam anugrunnanaha. So the sun is the external prana, eyes are the internal prana. Then pruthivyam ya devata saisha purushasya apanam avashtabhya antara yad akashaha sa samanaha vayurvyanaha. Then this Prithvi Devata, that is the Apana Vayu. And therefore, our Apana Vayu and Prithvi's Apana Vayu, they are in touch with each other. And therefore, we don't fly away in the air. Therefore, we don't fall down. Because our balance is maintained. Our Apana Vayu, individual Apana Vayu and total Apana Vayu, they are matching with each other. In this manner, further the teacher says, Aisha Purusha Apana Avashtabhya Yad Akashaha Sa Samanaha. And then the Akasha, the air, is the Samana Vayu and Vyanaha. And the air is Vyana, which is taking all the things within the body and outside the body. Tejo Hava Udanaha. Now the last is Teja, the element fire. That is the Udana Vayu. Tasman Upashanta Teja Punarbhavam Indriya Manasi Sampadyamanahi. And the external element fire is Udana Vayu. When the heat disappears from the body, so we say, oh, he is now dead. Why? There is no life in that. In this manner, the internal Panchapranas and external Panchapranas, they are supporting each other. Therefore, our existence is not independent. We are in this relative world. See, friend. This is what we have to distinctly and clearly understand. Now, यच्चित्तस्तेन एष प्राणम आयाति प्राणस्तेन सा युक्तः सह आत्मना यथा संकल्पितम लोकम नयति. Now this Udana Vayu, after having told all the Pancha Pranas inside outside, now this Udana Vayu, it helps us Pranam ayati pranas tejasa yuktaha. Now the jiva, along with the udana vayu, he ejects himself out of the body and yatha sankalpitam lokam nayati. And whatever is the last thought, to that last thought destination, this udana vayu helps the jiva to go out of the body and he enters there. If you have read the Garud Puran, in that Garud Puran, people get enchanted by the earlier stories. But real thing is, listen the last chapter. In the last chapter, distinctly it is said, if you study and understand this chapter, earlier you can delete. See, when you come to discover that neither you are born nor you die, will you ever ask the question? There was one Yogi Mahatma, very good friend of mine. I don't know where he is now. We used to meet here in Vidya Vihar. Morning time I used to have my lectures, and after my lecture, his lecture used to be there. So, very elderly. That time he was about 90 or 92. So, he told me, Swamiji, I know all my earlier lives. I kept quiet. In the earlier life, I was in Jabalpur in a Baniya family. Before that, I was in Dehradun. I was in a Brahman family. So he started, in the seventh life, I was a parrot. Tutapuri Maharaj. I was a parrot. He said, I have that Shakti, Siddhi. I can tell about anybody, even about you also I tell, if you want. I said, I know also. What? I was in the last life donkey, in this life maintaining donkey. See, friends, how much we are, so much buried in this thought. See, na nirodho, na cha utpatti, na baddho, na cha sadhakaha, na muktaha, na mumukshurvai, ittesha paramarthata. See, friends, the purpose of this sin, merit, hell, heaven is for what? Only to bring to our cognition that you were never absent. Last life, this body was not there. In this body, I am the same who was there in the last body. When this body will die away, I continue in the other body. So where did I die? हीनोस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारम यौवनम जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. The purpose, what we call in technical language, is the tatparya nirnay. In English we call it moral of the story. We have to understand the moral of the story. This story I had told once, it happened somewhere, and one elderly gentleman, very nice, sincerely sitting and listening. And the point I wanted to make through a story was, a person who is lost in the finite can never imagine the infinite. So to tell this, I told a story. I can create stories in no time. I said there was a fish, and he happened to go to a well. And in that well, there was a frog. So the frog asked, must be Indian frog. He asked, who are you? He said, I am fish. Where are you from? He said, I am from ocean. What is ocean? That frog has never seen ocean. What is ocean? Ocean is water. How much water? Now, how can the fish tell how much water it is? So the frog, this much water? Can you imagine the size of the hand of the frog? He said, no. Then this much? No. He took a leap within the water. This much? No. He got frustrated and diagonally jumped from wall to wall. This much? The fish said, no, Baba. Then how much? Come. They went to the ocean. And now the fish asked, tell me, how much is the water? Maunam vyakya prakatita para brahma tattvam yuvanam. He kept quiet. Because finite person can never think of infinite. When the story was over, that old man asked, Swamiji, how that fish went to the well? I said, by Kingfisher Airlines. How can you talk? See, friends, therefore, the purpose of this topic of Jiva is first, stop blaming others. We are all expert in that. If I am a husband, thank God I am not. If I am a husband, the cause of my misery will be my wife. If I am a father, the cause of my misery will be my children. If I am a businessman, the cause of my misery will be the government GST. See? So we are all expert in blaming others for everything that happens to us. They are samsari. A seeker is responsible for everything that happens in his life. But I have not done any bad thing to anybody. No, maybe not this life. In the earlier life, you might have troubled your wife so much. Therefore, she is taking revenge in this life. But I don't remember. Never mind. But now behave properly with her. Next life, again she will be your wife. If you want to protect yourself from her in the next life, behave properly. Net result, that virus will go out of his head. And he will be self-oriented. See, friends, Avrutta chakshuhu amrutatvam. How important it is. It is for this purpose, the topic of Jiva, the soul, the last life, this life, sin, married, all these are told. I am aware, I am talking to the students who are of the highest caliber. This thing I will not talk before children. See, who is mother, who is father? We are all in the biological world. No. For them, we have to tell that only. Therefore, यच्चित्तात् प्राणम आयाति प्राणस्तेन सह युक्ता सह आत्मना यथा संकल्पितम लोकम नयति. Now here, the teacher comes to the conclusion. Ya evam vidvan prana veda na asya praja hiyate amruto bhavati tadesha shlokaha. Evam, in this manner, yaha vidvan, that wise person, Veda, he comes to know this. What he comes to know? If the mirror is in front of us, there is a reflection. If the mirror is taken away, what happens to the reflection and what happens to our face? Nothing happens to reflection because it was never there. Nothing happens to our face because our face was not dependent on the mirror. See? There are two things told in our scriptures. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya or Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. The impact of both the things is the same. When we take this world as an illusion, like an image in the mirror, so about illusions, what is our reaction? We don't desire the illusions. We don't try to improve the illusions. We cannot destroy the illusions because the illusions appear, they don't exist. See? So if we take this approach, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, what will be the impact? Impact will be, we will be free from desires pertaining to the world. Freedom from desires is God realization. यदा सर्वे प्रमुच्यन्ते कामा यस्य हृदि श्रिताः अथमर्त्यः अमृतो भवति अत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते. See, Yada sarve kama. There is nothing like good desire, bad desire. See, friends, even in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna talks about the steady wisdom. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Sthita de kim prabhasheda kimasita vrajeta kim. Arjuna asked these 4 questions. And Bhagavan tells, what is the meaning and purpose of meditation for a man of steady wisdom? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan. He who is living at zero desire level, does it mean he is in depression? No. Atmanne vatmana tushtaha. He is at peace with himself. And when you are at peace with yourself, you are at peace with the whole world. See, my friends, therefore, ya evam vidvan, Veda, he who thus comes to discover his essential nature, naha asya prajahiyate. Now for him, there is nobody who dies or who is born. See, one of our happy mantra is Karnataka. See, but how to do Natak, Swami, is very difficult. It's not difficult. What are you doing now? As if listening. So in the same manner, as you are listening to Vedanta, same thing, you listen to the world. When somebody tells you are beautiful, take it lightly, don't take it seriously. I did this mistake once and I had to suffer for 3 days. It happened in New Zealand. My friend, his wife, his daughter, 20 years or so, we are going somewhere. And she says, Swami, let us go. This is so beautiful. See how nice it looks. I said, I am not coming. You go. I'll watch from here. I am lazy. I do not know. No, Swami, see how beautiful it looks. I said, now I must put her in the right place. I said, do you know? Whatever looks beautiful is never beautiful. What do you mean? I said, for example, you look beautiful. Next 3 days, she did not talk to me. Because all the parents have their dumb thing. They tell their child, daughter, oh, you are tilottama and what not, you are so beautiful. And the useless child start developing her own image. I am most beautiful. But when she faces the world mirror, then she has to go to the makeup to cover all the breakup. See, friends. Therefore, when you take this world as an illusion, you live at zero desire level. And that doesn't mean you are depressed. You are atmanne vatmana tushtaha. This is the meaning. Ya evam vidvan veda sa na hasya prana hiyate amrito bhavati. And he attains immortality. Means what? He has no fear of death. There are 6 things which we have to conquer as our spiritual practice. Fear of old age and death. Fear of hunger and thirst. See, when I go to China, many of our friends ask, Swamiji, in China, what do you eat there? I am not going there to eat, man. No, even there, what do you eat? I said, I take there achar, this, cockroach achar is very tasty. Hey, Baba, think where far you are going. Eating is the only criteria of life, or there is something much more. Therefore, उत्पातिम आयांति स्थानम विभुत्वम च पंचधा आत्मा अध्यात्मम च प्राण प्राणस्य विद्यायाम अमृत अश्नुते विद्यायाम अमृतम अश्नुते. So here it is said how this prana, the jiva, utpattim, how the jiva is born, ayatim, how he enters the body, sthanam, where he is seated, vibhutvam, how he controls everything, and Panchada Atmanam Vivakta, and how he functions in the 5 different ways. Therefore, this world is called as Prapancha. Everything is Pancha, Pancha, Pancha. Panchayati Rajya. See? Pancha Mahabhutas, Pancha Pranas, Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, then Pancha Vishaya, then Pancha Tanmatra, Pancha, 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 Pancha. Go and punch somebody. Pancha Prapancha. See? Therefore, Pranasya vidnyaya amrutamashnute. So what we have to ultimately understand from this chapter, be very attentive. मयि एव सकलं जातं मयि सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं मयि सर्वं लयं याति तद्ब्रह्माद्वयमस्म्यहम् आत्मानमरणिं कृत्वा प्रणवं चोत्तरारणिं ज्ञाननिर्मथनाभ्यासात् पाशं दहति पंडितः. Stop worrying about the world. This world has always been like this. There is not one single isolated event in this world which is unique. Everything has happened earlier. Our Upanishad says, Yatha Purvam Akalpayat. Then nothing is new. When we go to sleep in our house and wake up next day, we don't wake up in London. In the same manner, this is again and again happening, again, and nothing new in this world. But we feel, oh, I got married, I have children. You have done it 100 times, yeah. This is not first time. See, friends, therefore, Vidnyaya amrutamashnute. Don't get too much carried away by all these things. Now here, Chaturtha Prashna we enter. Atha hainam sauryayani gargyaha papracha भगवान एतस्मिन् पुरुषे कानि स्वपन्ति कानि अस्मिन् जाग्रति कतर एष देवः स्वप्नान् पश्यति कस्य एतत् सुखं भवति कस्मिन्नु सर्वे संप्रतिष्ठिता भवन्ति इति. Now there is another student, Sauryayana Gargya. He has asked this question. Hey Bhagwan, oh teacher, kindly tell which are the faculties which go to sleep and which are them which are awake, and who is the one who is experiencing the dream, and who is the one who is experiencing the bliss in the deep sleep, and where all this thing is happening. These are the 4-5 questions. Now see, this question is now bringing us back to ourselves. Earlier was the world and the Panchapranas and all that. We are outside. Now come back. And therefore, here the student's question is straight away pertaining to oneself. That Bhagwan etasmin purushe kani swapanti. Who goes to sleep? All the sense organs, who goes to sleep then? Kani asmin jagrati, and who is awake? And Esha Devaha Swapnan Pashyati, and Katara Esha Deva. Who is this Deva, the experiencer, who is going through the experience of the dream? Kasya Etat Sukham Bhavati, and who is experiencing the bliss in the deep sleep? And where all the drama is happening, kindly tell me. And the teacher, in reply to this, says, तस्मै सहोवाच यथा गार्ग्य मरीचयो अर्कस्य अस्तं गच्छतः सर्वा एतस्मिन् तेजो मंडले एकी भवन्ति ता पुनः पुनः उदयतः प्रचरन्ति एवं हवै तत्सर्वं परे देवे मनसि एकी भवति तेन तर्हि एष पुरुषो न शृणोति न पश्यति न जिघ्रति न रसयते न स्पृशते नाभिवृते न दत्ते न आनन्दते न विसृजते नेनायते न स्वपिति इति आचक्षते. Now here a beautiful example is given. Hey Gargya, yatha, like Marichayaha arkasya antam gacchataha. When the sun sets, where the rays, Maricha means rays, where all the rays of the sun go, they go back to the sun. So, Marichaya arkasya astam gacchataha sarva etasmin tejo mandale eki bhavati. All the sun rays, they go back into the sun. Exactly the same way. Ta punaha punaha udayataha pracharanti eva. Again, next day, there is a sunrise, and again all the rays come out. Now, can imagine the picture subjectively. When we go to sleep, all our rays which come out, my house, my property, my country, my religion, my problems, all these are the rays. And slowly, slowly, they come back, and we are in sound sleep. Sound sleep is sleep for ourselves, sound for the society around. Krrr, krrr, eki bhavati. See? And again, next day, if I sleep as a Swami, will I get up as a husband? I'll get up only as a Swami. See, in the same manner, this whole world is like a heaving of the ocean. Next time, if you go to see somewhere, you'll see recently where I was, we are in a deep ocean. The waves goes like this. Not the one which we see on the beach. In the center of the ocean, you see, the whole ocean is happening. And slowly, slowly, when the waves are near the beach, there they are flat. But in the center of the ocean, they are only heaving in the same manner. Like the breathing goes on. In the same manner, the whole world, Mayi eva sakalam jatam, Mayi sarvam pratishtitam, Mayi sarvam layam yati. This is what is mentioned here, that all these faculties, they come out of the Purusha, and etasmin tejo mandale eki bhavanti, again they go back. In Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Bhagavan brings this topic. See, where he says that they are in me, but I am not in them. See? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina mastani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha nachamastani bhutani pashyami yogamishwaram bhutabhrunnaja bhutastaha mamatma bhutabhavana. Ocean says, all waves are in me, they are maintained in me, they go back to me. From the wave standpoint. From my standpoint, neither they are in me, nor I am in them. Waves are born, ocean is not born. Waves die, ocean doesn't die. But from the water's point of view, neither there is the ocean the cause, nor the waves the effect. 3 stages. We are at the wave level, wavelength. Competition, frustration, born, wow. Hiranyagarbha level, ocean. See, in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked the question, Kim karma? What is the karma? There, Bhagavan Krishna says, Hiranyagarbha is the karma. Like, in our deep sleep, everything is gone. So our deep sleep is a mini Hiranyagarbha. And that Hiranyagarbha is the total Hiranyagarbha. The same thing. What is in the Pinda, that is in the Brahmanda. They are not separate. Therefore, ta puna udayataha pracharanti eva tasmai tat sarvam pare deve marasi eki bhavati. Therefore, everything goes back to the mind. So, mind is the one where from everything comes out, everything goes in. Everything comes out, everything goes in. And therefore, in deep sleep, tarhi esha purushaha. Therefore, this person, the jiva, na shrunoti, na pashyati, etc., none of these faculties are functional. This is how the slowly subjective inquiry begins. Prana-agnaya etasmin pure jagrati. Now, when all the faculties are sleeping, like no hearing, no smelling, no tasting, no touching, no nothing, then who is awake? See, in Bhagavad Mahapuran, there is a Puranjanakyan. There also the same topic comes. So, Prana-agnayaha etasmin pure jagrati. Then the Prana Agni, these Prana, Pana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, they are still functioning. They do not require to be only in the waking state, like the sense organs are functional only in the waking state. So all the pranas, therefore, when we sleep, Our digestion continues, our nail grow, our hair grow, all the repair of the body tissue start taking place because of this prana shakti. So pranagnaya etasmir pure jagrati garhyapatyo hava esha apanaha vyano anvaharya pachanaha yad anharya praniyate pranayan pranayad abhavaniyaha pranaha. Now these are the technical terms which are used in our karma kanda. We have not done karma kanda, and I have never done anything of that type. Even when they tell something which I am completely blank, I have never done that. Therefore, only this much I can tell you, that in the deep sleep, all the pranagni is still working. And then, because of this, all the faculties remain functional inside the body, although we are not aware of it. Then, yad ushvasa nishvasa eta ahuti samam nayati sa samanaha manohava yajamanaha. Now, all these functions which are conducted by the pancha pranas, conducted for whom? Mano vai yajamana. There, the yajamana is mind. In any karma kanda, if you take, there is a husband and a wife. And then they are told, the Panditji will be taking some rice and put in their hand, and then put little water and flour and cover, and now we'll do the sankalpa, mamopata, samasta durita kshay dwara, blah, 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 mukkarishe. And then the karma kanda begins. In USA, I have seen one place, such a fantastic experience. A village somewhere in US, and very few Indian families, maybe about 5, 6 of them. And there was one old Sindhi gentleman from Bombay. So he was the only wise man there, Indian wise man. Any puja, anything, he used to go there. Uncle ko bulao, uncle will go there. And any puja, I was so thrilled. Sindhis are genius. See, any mantra, any puja, nothing. He will simply chant the same thing, different tunes. And the one who is doing puja, Yajman, they are also the same brand. So he gave little rice. Now they know anything, even they had to eat it. Just don't eat it. Joy, no? The world is full of happiness. So he said, don't eat it. Again, I am giving you, and now put some water and cover it. And then, what was the mantra? Dukha karta, marta, vignachi. Now, from the tune, I understood. Sukha karta, dukha karta, varta, vignachi. Arey yaar. See, andhe nahi bani ya mana yatanda. But ananda hi anand. See. So here, who is the Yajman? Yajman is the mind. For that mind, everything is being done so that the mind can continue functioning. And manohavava yajmanaha ishtaphala eva udanaha. And what is the ishtaphala? What is the result of this thing? Is udanaha sa esha yajamanam ahar ahar brahma gamayati. Be attentive. Now, this yajaman mind, ahar ahar, every day goes back to his own divine nature. When the wave disappears, where does it go? Does it go to the ocean or does it go to the water? Ocean can become the wave. Wave can never become the ocean. Wave goes back to the water. See, friends. Therefore, who sleeps? There is nobody who is sleeping. And therefore, here it is said, ahar ahar brahma gameti jamanam. Every deep sleep, we are one with the divine. Whether you want or you don't want, whether you know or you don't know, you are divine. Jabardasti? Hanji. The only difference is, we are not aware of this. And therefore, all the time, Papa Karma, I don't know, I don't get good sleep. And sleep doesn't come, you are already realized. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagarti Sayyami. Very good, don't sleep. See, friends, how simple it is. Come back to your own self. This technique I told you 100 times. Drop the objects, you have come to the sense organs. One step. Don't be slave to any sense organ, you have come to the mind. Drop the likes and dislikes through wisdom, you have come to the intellect, the seat of I. This I is now no more under the influence of the likes and dislikes. Therefore, life is not guided by ragadvesha. The life is guided by shreya, by what is right. And what is right? Be happy. And then one day it will click. Where this I goes, where the wave goes, when the wave goes back, is it the same wave which comes out? No. Like for every dream, there is a separate dreamer, equally 100% true. For every waking experience, there is a separate waker. Either write the biography of a dreamer or don't write the autobiography of a waker. What is the difference between these two? One and the same. See? But what happens? We have given so much value and importance to this world. Then we start writing our autobiography. I was there, I was born. Nobody has the experience of birth. Somebody tells you are born on 31st April and you believe. See, friends, and whole life is spent only in this illusion. And then we write, oh, great Mahatma, nobody is born, nobody dies. See, friends, therefore, this Prashnopanishad having studied, you have lost your right to die and to be miserable. Neither can you die, nor you can be miserable. Then what to do with the misery? Spread. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. No, no. माही में किसी के फ्लैट में रहता हूँ, अभी आता हूँ नीचे. मैं भूल गया तुमको, तुम कौन हो? मेरी मम्मा के साथ आता था. कहाँ है तुम्हारी मम्मा? अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, सिंधी हो. कैसे चल रहा है काम धंधा? अच्छा चल रहा है. बढ़िया है।
एकदम बढ़िया।
मम्मी को परेशान करते हो कि नहीं?
वो तो करनी
वो तुमको परेशान करती है, मुझे मालूम है। सभी माताएं ऐसी होती है। पहले यही कहेंगी बेटा शादी कर, बेटा शादी कर। शादी करने के बाद फिर वही परेशान हो जाएंगी, क्यों शादी करें।
आपको बोलना चाहिए वो मम्मा।
I am not in favor of the parents. I am in favor of the youngsters.
थैंक
ये दूसरा कौन है ये? अच्छा, क्या करते हैं आजकल ये लोग?
अभी मैं डेलोइट में जॉब करता हूँ।
हाँ?
अभी डेलोइट में जॉब करता हूँ
अच्छा,
और मैं कॉलेज में।
और तुम?
कॉलेज में।
कॉलेज पढ़। Not possible for me to come to your place. क्या आना है घर में? जब ईट पत्थरों को क्या देखना है, आदमी को देखो।